Good evening, online and offline students. Today's class, as you might be knowing, is a discussion of last year prelims question paper. So this exam was conducted by UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, last Sunday. So last week we were doing the analysis and discussions of the question subject-wise. So we covered different subjects. We covered history and culture. We covered geography and environment, science and technology. And we were actually discussing Indian polity, governance and international relations. So today's class is a continuation of what we were covering. So today also we will be discussing the remaining portions of Indian polity, governance, international relations, and also current affairs. But today you will see that most of the questions were current affairs related. So that is a peculiarity of this section of prelims we are discussing. So don't assume that those who are attending classes for the first time. I mean, we usually take classes for only for a small batch of students. So some of the students I believe are new in today's class. So if you are attending today's class, it will be mostly current affairs. But don't think that every question in prelims is current affairs related. That is not the case. For last year, for 2026 exam, around 5 to 10 questions can be purely categorized as current affairs. But current affairs, actually, when you study current affairs, I always say the way or the approach to deal current affairs is that you have to treat current affairs as an extension of your static subjects. For example, polity-related current affairs, geography-related current affairs, culture-related current affairs, science and technology-related current affairs. So, current affairs actually is an extension of all these static subjects. So, if you see that way, the real weightage of current affairs is around 20-25 questions this year exam. But still, around 70-75% of the questions is from the static only. So don't overemphasize the weightage of current affairs. This exam can still be solved if you are really good at static subjects. But current affairs is not an area that should not be neglected. Once you attend this class, you will understand the importance of learning current affairs and how to solve current affairs. The importance of reading newspapers, the importance of regularly following the Press Information Bureau, the importance of regularly following the government ministries, particularly central government ministries, all such things, I believe after today's class, you will get to know and the importance of that. Also, you will see in some questions, rather than by traditional knowledge, how you can solve that using techniques, lateral thinking, elimination methods. That also I will demonstrate in which all questions that is applicable. We will see that as well. Okay. So with that background introduction, let's straight away go to the class. So this is a minor disclaimer and this is a profile about myself. And this I always emphasize in the class. So UPSC preparation is not very simple when you compare with other exams, state level PSC exams, bank exams, SSC exams. Most of those exams are mostly memory based, fact based. And all you have to do is to memorize a lot of information. And when in the exam hall, you have to recall and reproduce that information. That is what is being tested in most other examinations. But UPSC is not just a test of your memory. Of course, memory is important. The ability to store huge amount of data and facts in your memory, that of course is important. That is also a sign of intelligence. But other than that, a higher form of intelligence, higher form of thinking, higher form of mental processing power is being tested in UPSC. So nowadays, I mean, that is not a pattern of this year, but over the last 5-10 years, that is highly evident. UPSC questions have turned highly analytical, highly process oriented. So you have to do a mental processing of the information to get the answer. In some questions you can see that it was quite similar to the CSAT paper, that is General Studies paper 2. For example, some questions were passage based. Passage means what? You don't have to learn anything to solve that paper. All information needed to solve that question is already given in the question. In the exam hall pressure, you have to read that statements and then you have to find the logical connection in between the statement and then have to answer it. So that means UPSC is changing from a memory testing exam to a thinking power testing exam. What is testing is your higher order thinking. So that is being tested. And with respect to knowledge, I said knowledge is the basis. So with respect to knowledge also, when we consider, there are core level knowledge, core knowledge. Core knowledge means all the necessary or basic things that every UPSC aspirant is supposed to learn. Basic aspects of history, basic foundation of geography, basic foundation of constitution, that everybody should learn. Now, what UPSC is asking is that the core areas UPSC test only at a minority level, or only as a, if you see the share of questions coming from the core concepts, core part of the syllabus, fundamental part of the syllabus, it is very limited. Beyond the core, or UPSC is asking from other areas. That means you have to read wide, you have to read depth also. So that means in earlier years, if you just start preparation and with whatever you acquire as the foundational knowledge in 1 year, that was sufficient to crack prelims. But now that is not the case. You need deep layers of knowledge, wide layers of knowledge. That is also the case. In addition to knowledge, you need to learn that. You need to get that training with respect to thinking as well. So that is what is shown here as well. You need to go deep and wide to get the difficult questions. So this was the rough weightage of the UPSC exam with respect to last year. History and culture around 20 questions, geography and environment around 20 questions, science and technology around 10 questions, polity, governance and IR around 30 questions, pure current affairs around 5 and economics 15. Now in today's class, we are planning to discuss around 20 questions. Out of the 20 questions, 15 questions are from the section polity, governance and IR, and next 5 questions from current affairs. So today's class we will be discussing polity, governance, IR and current affairs. But as I told, the real weightage of current affairs is not just 5, it is beyond that. Once you go through the questions, you will understand also. And all the questions are based on the official key of ClearIAS, not the official key of UPSC. Because the official UPSC key is not yet released, but the provisional key of UPSC is released. So ClearIAS key is matching with the provisional key of UPSC, but once the final key of UPSC is, when it is out, it will come out only after 1 year. But when that comes, there can be minor variations with respect to certain questions. 1 or 2 questions, there can be minor variations. Having said that, more chance will be UPSC may dropping 1 or 2 questions where those questions are debatable. Rather than changing the key, UPSC may delete that question altogether. I will warn you with respect to which question such probability is there. That also I will give a warning regarding that when we go through that question. Now let's straight away start with the question solving. So question number 66 on the version A of the question paper. Question number 66. Which of the following connectivity projects is or are a part of cooperation between India and ASEAN member countries? So this question is connected with connectivity projects. And this question is also discussing the cooperation between India and ASEAN member countries. India is in the South Asia, ASEAN is Southeast Asia. So South Asia and Southeast Asia, which are the connectivity projects as a result of the cooperation between India and ASEAN. Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project, IMT Trilateral Highway, Agartala Akwara Rail Line. So that is the question. Then you have to select the answer using the code given below: 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, and 2 only. Any idea? You can mention your answers in the chat section. The class, as always, will be interactive. Those online students can mention your answers either using voice option or text option. Meanwhile, offline students can also mention your answers. What do you think is right? It's okay if you go wrong, not a problem. Okay, we have some answers from online students. Okay, Aryan and Sona is giving answers as A, 1 and 2 only. Kaladan and IMT Trilateral Highway. Agartala Akwara rail line, you are not connecting it with ASEAN. What about offline students? Any idea? 1 and 2 only. Okay. So that is the right answer here. The answer is 1 and 2. So Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project and IMT Trilateral Highway are part of cooperation between ASEAN, India and ASEAN. Now look at this subject as such. What is this subject? This subject is foreign relations, international relations. India ASEAN comes into picture that, right? It's not just internal to India, but external to India also. But you can broadly, you can say that it is also part of India's governance. So when you study Indian polity, don't limit your learning with just Indian constitution or the textbook Indian Polity by M. Lakshmikant or the constitution textbook by D.D. Basu. So you have to read in this fashion also. Also, you have to go through the websites of Ministry of External Affairs. So these kind of aspects may be mentioned there. Also PAB reports, newspapers. Then only you will be able to solve this. This is a information oriented question. It is not like connected with your day-to-day thinking and all. You have to know this data, then only you will be able to answer this. Such a factual question it is. So Kaladan is a project which involves Myanmar, and the IMT Trilateral Highway connects India, Myanmar and Thailand. So Myanmar and Thailand are Southeast Asian countries, that is ASEAN members, Myanmar and Thailand. So Kaladan involves Myanmar, IMT Trilateral Highway involves India, Myanmar and Thailand. So that all things comes. But what about Agartala Akwara Rail Link? That is an India-Bangladesh project. And Bangladesh is not an ASEAN member. So that is the case. Okay. So the next set of questions are all in the same fashion only. All these questions are in the same fashion, but let's try to see that. Okay. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the answer using the code given below. Okay. So list 1 and list 2 are given. Most of the questions are highly factual. So it's slightly boring also. You have to remember a lot of factual information, but that's how UPSC has framed this section of the question paper. Okay, let's see. List 1, projects supported by India and the countries. So which are the projects supported by India and which country that project is associated and which are correctly matched, and that option you have to select from that column. So lot of connective thinking you need. So Bangladeshu hydroelectric project, restoration of Store Palace, district hospital at Dikoya, Institute of Security and Law Enforcement Studies. So where are each of these projects and how they can be connected? Maldives, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. Okay, think and find the answer. You can mention your answer in the chat. So where is Bangladeshu hydroelectric project, Store Palace, District Hospital at Dikoya, Institute of Security and Law Enforcement Studies? Yeah, online students, offline students, any idea? Highly factual, right? Highly factual, but current affairs connected. Like most of these have some current affairs connection as well. So UPSC mentions the topic events of national and international importance. So this is not an event. I mean, so maybe construction is an event, but when you prepare current affairs, you have to have this kind of wide reading. That is what is expected. So what do you think as the answer? So the answer is B. Answer is B. Answer is B means how can we mark it? So B means A. A should be Bangladeshu hydroelectric project should be marked with Bhutan. And restoration of store palace should be connected with Afghanistan. District hospital at Dikoya should be connected with Sri Lanka. And Institute of Security and Law Enforcement Studies should be connected with Maldives. So that is the correct answer. Okay. So Mangadeshu hydroelectric project is in Bhutan. So one clue is there. It's a hydroelectric project, right? Hydroelectric projects usually will be associated with some mountain countries. I mean, every country may have that, but we need a mountain and a river system to store water, right? So with that logic, see if you're able to connect this. So A should be definitely connected with Bhutan. This is a hydroelectric project and it should be connected with Bhutan. So if that is the logic you are applying, then you have only two options. A connected with Bhutan, only B and C. So you already arrive at a 50-50 choice, right? So Bhutan is renowned for many hydroelectric projects. Now let's see, are there any other techniques here? So this is hydroelectric. Even if you don't know the answer, how you can find the answer? So this is hydroelectric project, connect it with Bhutan. So that is one way. Store palace. So there is a palace, store, that palace is called store, and that restoration is in Afghanistan. Dikoya District Hospital in Sri Lanka. Institute of Security and Law Enforcement Studies or National College of Policing and Law Enforcement, that is in Maldives. But the only clue is that at least you are in 50-50. Then you mark it, more chance of getting it correct. That way of thinking you can develop. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Next question is connected with defense hardware. Defense hardware. And which are manufactured in India. So India now is looking for Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India, self-reliance. All these are emphasized by India. So with respect to the defense also, indigenization is a policy. That means most of the, rather than importing defense hardware, we are thinking of making it in India itself. In that angle, which of the items of defense hardware are manufactured in India? Su-30 MKI fighter jets, T-90 Mk3 tanks, Akula class submarine. So which of the following items of defense hardware is manufactured in India? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 only, 2 only. Okay. Any idea? Online, offline? C, 1 only. Su-30 Mk fighter jets. Okay. 1 only. Okay. Any other options? So I am saying 1 and 2. Okay. Other online students, any idea? I know it's not a very easy question, but still give a try. Sona, Rutika, Pratyasha, Chandrima, Aryan, Aparna, Aditya. Okay. The right answer is A, 1 and 2. Su-30 Mk fighter jets as well as T-90 Mk31 tanks, they are both connected with indigenous manufacture. So I will see explained that. Su-30 Mk aircraft are manufactured or assembled by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited in India, HAL. You might have heard about HAL, right? So Su-30 Mk aircraft, that is manufactured or assembled by HAL. Now, what about the T-90 tanks? T-90 tanks, you know, right? What are tanks? Tanks are manufactured at the Heavy Vehicles Factory at Awadhi. So that is also manufactured at Awadhi. So these two, aircraft as well as tanks, these two India has indigenous, native capabilities, indigenous capabilities. But what about Akula class submarines? These are Russian origin. These submarines are Russian origin, nuclear submarines. They are leased or operated by India, but they are not manufactured in India. India does not have the capability to manufacture Agula class submarines. That submarine is not manufactured by India. So now, so these kind of questions can come in mains as well. So whatever we are discussing for prelims is not just relevant for prelims. It is all these points are valuable points for mains. So any question can come about the indigenization of defense manufacturing. So then definitely you once you attend this class, you got 2 points, right? Su-30 MK aircraft that is manufactured in India. T-90 tanks that is manufactured in India. Places where they are manufactured. One is manufactured by HAL, another is manufactured by the Heavy Vehicles Factory at Avadi. So that can be used in mains answers. Got it, right? Yeah, so that is it. So Akula class submarines can be eliminated, but other two are right answers. Question number 69. Consider the following statements about platforms for multilateral cooperation. Platforms for multilateral cooperation. 3 statements are given. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? So your job now is to do the fact checking. So we have to check whether this statement is true or false. This statement is true or false. This statement is true or false. So fact checking is what you have to do here in this question. Okay, let's do first statement by statement. We can proceed. The Colombo process is a regional consultative process in which the member states take binding decisions by consensus. The Abu Dhabi dialogue is a voluntarily non-binding consultative process among Asian countries for labor origin and destination to facilitate regional cooperation for contractual labor mobility. The Global Forum for Migration and Development is created upon the proposal of a former UN Secretary General is a voluntary forum whose decisions are non-binding in nature. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Again, connected with international relations, wide reading is needed. You have to know about Colombo process, you have to know about Abu Dhabi dialogue, you have to know about Global Forum for Migration and Development. Highly information oriented thing. Wide reading, good understanding about the events happening around is needed. So options are A, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 2 only. So is Colombo process binding? It's not binding. So answer is C. So one clue with respect to this is that usually binding agreements are less in number when compared with non-binding agreements. Many countries sign and all, but most of these are like in principle approvals only. They may not be like binding. So whenever you see the word binding, be cautious. So that is a clue, practical thing I'm saying. India has also signed many treaties. India has signed many agreements, but many of these agreements are non-binding in nature. But of course, there are binding agreements, but comparatively less in number. Anyway, Colombo process is non-binding. So we'll see that. Statement 1 is wrong because Colombo process decisions is consensus-based but non-binding. Abu Dhabi dialogue is a voluntary non-binding consultative process, and the Global Forum of Migration and Development is also a voluntary non-binding platform. Okay, so connected with current affairs also, but international relations. Even if you didn't read the last 1 year newspapers also, but this, if you read a textbook on international relations, this may be there in there. Now, question number 70. Consider the following UN organizations or agencies. UN World Food Program, United Nations Children's Fund, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, International Labour Organization. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 organizations. How many of the above has or have been awarded Nobel Prize twice? So many UN organizations or agencies got Nobel Prize. They were awarded Nobel Prize. But has there been any organization which got Nobel Prize more than once? So that is good. I mean, actually twice. Which organization got Nobel Prize twice? How many of them? Any idea? Getting Nobel Prize twice is a rare thing, right? It's a rare thing. So such thing happened for the same organization getting Nobel Prize twice. That happened only once with respect to UN organizations in the list. And the answer is A1, and that is with respect to UN Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, has received the Nobel Peace Prize twice in 1954 and 1981. World Food Program, UNICEF, and International Labour Organization have each received it once. So, which UN organization won Nobel Prize twice? UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. That organization won twice. But that is, see, this is like a quiz only, right? So, it's a very factual thing only, not current affairs. I mean, maybe UNHCR may be in news, but this happened, getting Nobel Prize happened when and when? It happened in 1954 and 1981. That was many years back. So that is, but when you study about the international organizations, when you study about UNHCR, this is something which you have to study. This organization got Nobel Prize twice. That is the background data. Okay, next question. Question number 71. Again, match the following question. So match the following is not very easy in the exam conditions because many options are complicated and that lot of data processing has to be done in a time constrained environment. Then you will be able to arrive at the answer. So match list 1 and list 2 and select the answer using the code given below. Now list 1 is about UN peacekeeping operations. List 2 is about the period of operation, right? So many of us may not be even knowing which are the UN peacekeeping operations. Then even if we know some of the names, we may not be knowing the period of the operations. But UPSC is going that depth. That is why I said that this year question paper is having high depth and width. Now let's look at this. UN peacekeeping operations, UNMIL, MINURCAT, MINUSTA, UNMISCT. So these are the UN peacekeeping operations. Period 2007 to 2010, 2002 to 2005, 2003 to 2018, 2004 to 2017. So with respect to many places, there will be UN peacekeeping operations. Sometimes India, people from India will also be part of peacekeeping operations. In many of the African countries, such peacekeeping operations are there. But that means to maintain peace in that particular region, external, forces from the UN will be there. That force is called UN peacekeeping mission. That may include, personnel from different countries, and that peacekeeping operations may have a name, and that name is connected with the particular period also. After that, once the peace is established, that operation may cease to exist. Now that is the case. Now, do you have any idea which are the peacekeeping operations and the corresponding years? Okay. So the right answer here is option B. Option B. So how can we map option B? Option B means A. UNMIL is from 2003 to 2018. MINURCAT is from 2007 to 2010. MINUSTA is from 2004 to 2017. UNMISCT is from 2004, 2002 to 2005. So UNMIL operated in Liberia. So that is a peacekeeping mission in Liberia from 2003 to 2018. MINURCAT that operated in Chad or Central African Republic from 2007 to 2010. MINUSTAH that operated in Haiti from 2004 to 2017. UNMISCT operated in East Timor from 2002 to 2005. Operations are, so hence the right operations A3, B1, C4, D2. So this question is entirely connected to the UN peacekeeping missions, but good data. I mean, for prelims, it may be tough, but if a question, general question come regarding UN peacekeeping missions, you have a data now, right? So that topic is important. That is the clue now UPSC is giving. We might read about so how you prepare for these kind of questions. In a single newspaper article, you may not find all peacekeeping mission, but there may be an article regarding UN peacekeeping mission. Now you have to be cautious. You have to be curious. Like, is it the only time UN peacekeeping mission is there in one country, or there were any other instances of UN peacekeeping mission? So, there was a mission in Liberia, there was a mission in Chad, there was a mission in Haiti, there was an East Timor. Like that, you have to think. So, from one data, you have to connect it backwards. Then you will have an idea regarding UN peacekeeping mission. So that is what I mentioned, how to prepare like this. So what you have to do every day, at least on 4 topics, you have to prepare notes, self notes. It can be when you read newspapers or anything like that. For example, after today's class, you get like some topics we have discussed, right? For example, now we have discussed about the indigenous defense hardware. So that can be a topic you have to prepare note on. Take an A4 size paper, prepare 10 points on indigenous defense hardware. So on the opposite side, on the same paper, maybe you can title it like UN peacekeeping missions, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So if you do like that, every day if you prepare 4 topics, so after 1 year, around 365 days, right? More than 1,200 topic wise notes you will be having. So that is a good data point for easy revision before exams. You have to read a lot of topics, but at least 4 topics every day you prepare notes, at least 10 points on every topic which you come across. Next question, question number 72. Another match the following question. List 1, list 2. List 1 is with respect to BIMSTEC center or establishment. Second is location. Again, international relations or foreign relations connected. So BIMSTEC is part of India's foreign relation. India is part of BIMSTEC, right? BIMSTEC, but this question is also highly depth because question is not asking which are the members of BIMSTEC, but the question is asking about the centers or establishments connected with BIMSTEC and its location. So some BIMSTEC centers are mentioned. BIMSTEC Cultural Industries Observatory, BIMSTEC's Energy Center, BIMSTEC Center for Weather and Climate, BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility. Now, where are these located? Noida, Bengaluru, Colombo, Thimphu. How can you mark the answer? Any idea? Any prior knowledge? All these are prior knowledge intensive questions. But in other subjects, we have seen such questions which we can solve even without knowledge. But these are all factual. You need that prior knowledge to solve this. So BIMSTEC is connected with Bay of Bengal. The countries in that Bay of Bengal area. India is also part of BIMSTEC. So that is an organization, a regional organization connected with Bay of Bengal countries. So what is the right answer here? So the right answer is C. Right answer is C. C means A is mapped with 4. B is mapped with 2 and C is mapped with 1 and D is mapped with 3. That means BIMSTEC Cultural Industries Observatory is in Thimphu. BIMSTEC Energy Center is in Bengaluru. BIMSTEC Center for Weather and Climate is in Noida. BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility is in Colombo. That is how this should be learned. So BIMSTEC Cultural Industries Observatory is established in Thimphu, Bhutan. BIMSTEC Energy Center is housed in Bengaluru. BIMSTEC Center for Weather and Climate is located at Noida. BIMSTEC Technology Transfer Facility is at Colombo, Sri Lanka. Answer is A4, B2, C1, D3. Next question. Question number 73. Again match the following. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? So the question is not correctly matched. In the exam hall, pressure don't miss this negative keyword. So many of these are correctly matched, but one is not correctly matched. So which is not correctly matched? Any idea? 3 corps, Dimapur, 4 corps, Taspur, 14 corps, Leh, 33 corps, Srinagar. B, 4 corps, Taspur. Okay. Any other choices? Any other answers? Online students? D. Okay. 33 crops, Srinagar. So then where is 33 crops located? The right answer is, all these are correctly matched. Which are these correctly matched? A is correctly matched. B is correctly matched. C is correctly matched. This is correctly matched. So this is the right answer is D. So this is not correctly matched. 33 corps is not connected with Srinagar. So then where is it connected? It is connected with Siliguri. Siliguri. 3 corps is associated with Dimapur or Rangapar, and 4 corps is Tezpur, and 14 corps with Leh. So these are the associations of these corps. But 33 corps is associated with Sukna or Siliguri, not Srinagar. Srinagar is in that Jammu and Kashmir area, right? But where is Siliguri? Yeah, Siliguri, you might have known about the corridor, right? So assume that this is the map of India. So this location, right? This is also called the chicken neck of India. It's like a neck of a chicken. It's a very narrow area. So this is where Siliguri is connected with it. Okay, option D is not correctly matched. So, but that is where the 33 corps are connected. Okay. Now, question number 74. Which of the following statements with respect to revamped Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan RGSA? Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan is correct. The period of its implementation is 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2026. The key objective of the revamped RGSA is to develop the governance capabilities of the Panchayati Raj institutions to deliver on the sustainable development goals. The share of central funding for the revamped RGSA is 100% for all states and union territories. So some scheme is being revamped. So changes are being made. In which scheme? Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. That is a scheme, a project, a yojana. That means a scheme or a project. Okay. So that is a scheme related question. Maybe current affairs linked also. It's a polity related question or a governance question. But governance related current affairs. So which statements are correct? So it's a fact checking this, whether this is true or false, whether this is true or false, whether this is true or false. So whenever we see that some share is like 100% for all like that, we have to be really cautious. Such statements usually will be false, but there are some instances where there may be correct also. But 80% of the time, when a statement says that all, every, 100%, chance of that to be correct is less. Now, these are also date-based questions, number-based questions. Date-based statements, number-based statements, again, chance that these may be also false. But I'm not making any guarantee or anything like that. Probability I am saying. Chance is there. But But there can be exceptions to this rule. Exceptions to this. Now, with respect to this year, what do you think, online and offline students? Which statements are correct? Two only. Two only. So there are mistakes with respect to statement 1 and statement 3. We'll see which are those. So online students, okay, already gave the answer. Very good. Very good. So those who have attended ClearIAS intelligent elimination classes, we have discussed 40 intelligent elimination techniques to solve prelims questions. If you attended those classes, solving these kind of questions would have been easy. So what is the problem with respect to this? The scheme period is from 1st April 2022 to 31st March 2026. So the year is changed. So here it is mentioned April 2021, but the real year is 2022. That is the case. So it is the objective is to develop governance capabilities of Panchayat Raj institutions for sustainable development goals deliveries. Second statement is correct. First statement, it has a problem with the date. Now, what about the third statement? The central share is not 100% for all states and union territories. The approved outlay includes both central and state shares. So it's not a 100% central funded scheme. It's not 100% for all states and union territories. Involved share of states as well. If states are also involved, it is definitely not 100%, right? So that is also the problem. So by the logic, we have solved it, right? If you know the answer by knowledge, well and fine. Even if you don't know the answer by knowledge, use our techniques, use common sense, use logic, then you will be able to arrive at the answer. Okay. So next question. After this question, let's take a small break. So which of the following countries are members of the European Union? European Union. Which of the following countries are members of the European Union? Belarus, Poland, Germany, Switzerland. Belarus, Poland, Germany, Switzerland. So you should be cautious here. So don't think that all countries in Europe are part of European Union. No, that is not the case. So some countries in the European continent may not be part of European Union. For example, United Kingdom is now. So UK is part of continent Europe, but not part of the association, European Union. Now the question is, which of the following countries are members of European Union? Yeah, try to think and find the answer. D. Okay. Good attempt, but see whether any other options fit the case. Think. Online students, offline students, keep thinking. Which of the following countries are members of European Union? But European Union is always in the news, right? So the clue from this year exam is that whatever things in the newspapers, any keyword. For example, that is why I said you have to prepare notes. So European Union, you should have a note on European Union, self-prepared note, at least 10 points. So in that 10 points, which are the member countries of European Union should definitely be there. That is how, if you are learning that way, you are unbeatable. You cannot be easily beaten by any of the competitors because you have depth of knowledge, width of knowledge. So what is the answer here? Okay. So the right answer here is option C, 2 and 3. Now, how can, if by knowledge, if you don't know how to regard the answer, how can you find the answer? You have to closely look at the options. Belarus, Poland, Germany, Switzerland. Okay. Suppose you don't have, you are not sure whether Belarus is a European Union member or not. Poland is not a European Union member and all. Switzerland, not sure. But think of Germany. Germany is one of the important European countries, right? So we frequently have discussions with German Chancellor and all. Now, when you think of Germany, Germany is an important country in Europe. Germany is a country in European Union. You don't just need to know to solve this question. You have to just have a basic knowledge that Germany is part of European Union. If Germany is part of European Union, you know option 3 should definitely be part of European Union, right? Now look at the options. In which of the options is option 3 mentioned? Option 3 is mentioned only once. Only in C option it is there. So very easy, right? So the UPSC question setter is actually trying to help you. If you have a basic idea regarding foreign relations, international relations, you will be able to answer this. So Poland is part of European Union. Germany is part of European Union. Poland and Germany are members of European Union. Belarus and Switzerland are not European Union members. Switzerland is in the Schengen area, but not in the European Union. Poland and Germany, European Union. Okay. Now let's take a small break. After the break, we'll resume the rest of the discussions. You can take a small break. Okay, let's continue the discussion. Question number 76. Another difficult match the following kind of question. And the area also for most students who prepare by traditional methods may not prepare at this depth. Okay, so shocking question. But see if you are able to answer this. It is connected with Interpol. Interpol means international police, right? So and it is connected with the notice of Interpol. Interpol gives different kinds of notice: silver notice, blue notice, black notice, green notice. Now you have to have an idea regarding all these kind of notices and the description of those notices. That is what is matched. To seek information on unidentified bodies, to collect additional information about person's identity, location, or activities in relation to criminal investigation, to provide warning about person's criminal activities where the person is considered to be a possible threat to public safety, to identify and trace criminal assets. So these are the list 1 and list 2. So you should have a fair idea regarding the notices and Interpol, then only you will be able to solve this, if you want to solve this, okay. But if you are a beginner, don't think that how I am going to memorize everything like this. Don't think like that. Why I am saying is that once you start preparation over the time, this is all about cumulative knowledge. Success in UPSC is not just of 1 year effort. It is years of effort, right from your beginning. A child, as soon as a child is born, it starts to learn. Even from the womb itself, the fetus learns many things. But whatever you have learned from your school days, college days, whatever you are learning through your surroundings, WhatsApp forwards, Instagram, Facebook, newspapers, everything matters. Cumulative knowledge matters. So 1 year of preparation is not actually your real preparation. Even before coming to UPSC preparation, you might be knowing many things, right? That all adds up. So Interpol is something you might be knowing even before coming to UPSC preparation. You might at least heard that name, right? So the point is that once you are into serious UPSC preparation, once you get the guidance, what you should know, all these require in-depth preparation. These are important for UPSC. So you should be curious in that level. So now once you start UPSC preparation, you know where to look at, which are the areas that you can omit, which are the areas you should pay attention to. So this is one area you have to pay attention to. But having said that, even in this case, you are not expected to know 100 out of 100 things, 100 topics to clear UPSC prelims. For prelims, you don't need 100 out of 100. Maybe 70 out of 100 is fine. In some years, 60 out of 100 is also fine. If you look at last 2-3 years cutoff, in 2023, the cutoff score was 75 marks out of 200. It was then, I think 87 out of 200. Last year, it was 92 out of 200. So that means you don't have to know even 50% questions to clear prelims. But somehow we will make some mistakes in the exam, right? So that's why a safe thing is to ensure that you get 70 questions correct in the exam. Other 30 questions you can go wrong, not a problem. But 70 correct. If you are getting 70 correct, 70 into 2, 140 marks. 30 into minus 0.66. That means minus 20 marks will be negative. That is okay. 140 minus 20, 120 marks. That means you will be 30-40 marks above the cutoff. Very safe thing. So you can go wrong in 30 questions. You may not know 30 questions. That is well and fine. That is the case with almost everybody in the writing the exam. But focus on those things which are a must learn. So that thing you have to focus. But knowing more things helps because that will help you write better mains answers. So some students, what they do, what they think that they think of studying mains right from the beginning. But to write a quality mains answer, you need to have good knowledge. Then only good points will come into your mains answers. Otherwise, your mains answer will be very general, right? There won't be much content in your mains answer. So if you prepare really well for prelims, that will ensure that your mains preparation is already taken care of. So these are not watertight compartments. What I usually say, if you are really good with prelims preparation, that means you will have good depth, good breadth. That will not only help your prelims, that will help you to write good answers in mains. That will automatically ensure that your mains marks will also go high. That is the case. Now, coming back to the question. Silver notice, blue notice, black notice, green notice. How can these be matched? What is the right answer? So, green notice is about a warning. There is a clue here. When we see the green notice, it is actually a warning. So, D should be connected with 3. So, D should be connected with 3. Such two options we have, C and D. C and D says that D is connected with 3. D is connected with a warning. Okay. So, silver, blue, black, green. Silver notice to seek information on identified notice, to collect information about identity, location, activities, relation. Okay. What? Identify and trace criminal assets. Okay. Any idea? Between C and D, what will you choose? C. C. So C means that A, silver notice should be connected with identification and tracing of criminal assets. Silver notice should be provided to identify and trace criminal assets. Blue notice should be given to collect information, additional information about a person's identity, location, or activities in relation to criminal investigation. Black notice should be given to seek information on unidentified bodies. Green notice should be given to provide warning about a person's criminal activities where the person is considered to be possible threat to public safety. That is the case. So, silver notice for identifying or tracing criminal assets. Blue notice collects additional information about identity, location, or activities. Black notice seeks information on unidentified bodies. Green notice warns about persons whose criminal activities may threaten public safety. So next time, if a similar question comes in prelims or mains, be prepared. Chance of this question in mains is rare only, but general information. Okay. Question number 77. Which of the following statements in relation to Nirantar, National Institute for Research and Application of Natural Resources to Transform, Adapt and Build Resilience, a platform for institutions under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, is or are correct? So, which of the following statements in relation to Nirantar, a platform for institutions under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, is or are correct? So, in the question itself, it is provided that Nirantar is a platform of institutions under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now, regarding this, which of the following statements are correct? So, again, a fact-checking question, true or false. Ecosystem survey and analysis is a vertical under this platform, the lead institution of which is Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata, whether it is true or false. Research and management of ecosystem service is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is the Central Zoo Authority, New Delhi, true or false. Capacity development support is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is the Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal, true or false. So this question is about Nirantar. So under Nirantar there are different verticals. Under each vertical, there is a lead organization as well. So one vertical is ecosystem and survey analysis, then research and management of ecosystem service, capacity development support. So different verticals. Under vertical, which is the lead organization, that is the question connected with Nirandar. See how UPSC is asking questions. No wonder this year exam was very difficult, right? So we need to know about Nirandar, we need to know about the different verticals there and the lead institute under each verticals as well. Now, any idea regarding Nirandar? Online students? Aditya, Abhisha, Aparna, Banu, Chandrima, Pratyasha, Rutika, Sona. Offline students. So, vertical and organization, chance of all organizations to be correct, rare. There may be some mistakes, right? So, anything which is not perfectly aligned, second is not perfectly aligned. So, first statement is true, this is true, this is false. So, where is this, which is the lead organization for research and management ecosystem? So, that was connected with the research and management ecosystem service, right? Research and management ecosystem service is led by ICFRE, Dehradun, not Central Zoo Authority. So here the answer is ICFRE. ICFRE, Dehradun. So that is the right answer. The other things are correctly matched. So, ecosystem survey and analysis is led by Botanical Survey of India, Kolkata. That is correct. Capacity development support is led by IAFM, Bhopal. But research and management ecosystem service is led by ICFRE, Dehradun, Central Zoo Authority. So, highly factual, right? These are all factual. Factual means this is information which you have to keep in your memory. In the exam question comes, you have to recall that information, but not in the traditional way. In the traditional way, how can the question be asked? Where is capacity development support under Nirandar located? So then you have to remember IAFM Bhopal. Or another question can be like, where is research and management of ecosystem service under Nirandar located? Or what exactly is the platform for different institutions under Ministry of Environment and Forest? So all these are factual questions, right? So this is also a factual question, memory-based question, recall question, but you have to remember 3 facts to answer this. So that is the problem, not just one fact. 3 facts you need to know to answer one question. That is how UPSC usually asks questions. In traditional PSC, state PSC questions, you just need to know only one fact. Here in a single question, you have to do the fact checking connected with 3 facts, then only you will be getting one question correct. That is the case. So that difference in thinking, I hope you are now getting. Okay, next question. Question number 78. The Chancellor of Federal Republic of Germany visited India in January 2026. Which of the following is or are not correct in terms of the outcomes of visit? So usually questions will be to find the correct answers, but here the question keyword is negative, not correct. So we have, again, you have to do the fact checking, true or false, true or false, true or false, true or false. So with respect to 4 facts, we need to check whether that is true or false. Then only we will be able to solve this. But remember this is a current affairs question. UPSC, I have explained during our prelims marks booster classes also. With respect to UPSC can ask current affairs not just with respect to 1 year. Last 1 year current affairs is more important. But UPSC may not stick to last 1 year current affairs. They can ask contemporary affairs, maybe last 5 year contemporary affairs or last 10 year affairs. Any question can come connected with what is in the news. Everything may not be last 1 year, but last 1 year is very important. But among last 1 year, the last 6 months are more important. And the most important month you should never skip is January month current affairs. Every year, there will be one question at least from January month current affairs, because you are going to write prelims in the month of May. So January current affairs is very important. So this is connected with January current affairs. Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany visited India in January 2026. Which of the following is or are correct in terms of the outcomes of it? Signing of memorandum of understanding between the All India Institute of Ayurveda and the University of Hamburg. All India Institute of Ayurveda. So whether such a signing of memorandum of understanding happened. Second, signing of memorandum of understanding on the youth hockey development between Hockey India and the German Hockey Federation. Establishment of bilateral dialogue mechanism in the Indo-Pacific. Opening of an honorary consul of Germany in Lucknow. So, very less chance of solving it using any technique. You need to have pure understanding regarding that event. Event of national and international importance, right? Current affairs. So that you should understand. But one clue is there. Look at the question statements. At least two statements are wrong here. That we know when we look here. Select the answer using the code given below: 2 and 3 only, 1 and 4 only, 3 and 4 only, 1 only. That means what? At least two options are anywhere wrong. Not everything is correct. So something should be false. So which are false? So this is a false statement. This is a false statement. This is true. This is true. So Ayurveda Memorandum of Understanding was with Charite University, Germany, not the University of Hamburg. University of Hamburg was given as false. So there was a Memorandum of Understanding was there, connected with Ayurveda, but that was not with the University of Hamburg. That was wrong. Honorary consul was opened in Ahmedabad, not in Lucknow. Lucknow is false. The right thing is Ahmedabad. The other thing are actual outcomes. But those who are appearing for the next year, I hope you got an idea, right? How to think with respect to. So, whenever there is a visit of a foreign president, prime minister to India, see what are the outcomes with that visit. Or Indian prime minister visited another country. What are the outcomes of that visit? See in that direction. Next question. We shall stop at question number 85. So at that time we will stop. The remaining 15 questions we will take up tomorrow. That will be with respect to economics. Okay. But with respect to polity, governance, international relations and current affairs, we will finish in today's class. Now question connected to Dhruv 64. Dhruv 64. What is Dhruv 64? That is the question. It is the third chip fabricated under the DIRV program with an overall aim to enable the creation of microprocessors for India. It is India's first homegrown 1.0 GHz 64-bit dual-core microprocessor. Okay. So microprocessors, you might be knowing about microprocessors, right? Computers, chips, different computer microprocessor making companies, Intel, so AMD, so some with graphics card and all, Nvidia, all these are companies connected with that, right? But these are all foreign countries, American companies. I mean, can India also make microprocessor? Yes, that is correct. So Dhruv 64 is connected with the microprocessor making capability of India. Now, see if you are able to answer this. Online and offline students, what do you think is the right answer? There is 64 here. Second statement also 64 here. More chance of that to be correct, right? More chance. But for what about statement one? It is a third chip fabricated under DIRV program with an overall aim to enable the creation of microprocessors for India. Microprocessors are there in both statements. Both statements are correct. Both statements are correct. So Dhruv 64 is described as India's first homegrown 1.0 gigahertz 64-bit dual-core microprocessor. It is also the third chip fabricated under DIRV after Tejas 32 and Tejas 64. Okay. Microprocessor, 1.0 gigahertz 64-bit dual-core processor. So India is also growing in terms of technology, information technology. So it's connected with science and technology, but connected with India's capabilities in particular. So it is connected with the events of national and international importance. So more questions connected with current affairs. Question number 80. I know whatever question today we discussed are all in the difficult area only. The previous question, but these are not difficult for a serious UPSC aspirant who prepare current affairs from the sources I mentioned. Newspapers, that means Hindu newspaper or Indian Express newspaper, but daily habit of newspapers. Then regular checking of the central government ministry websites. Third, PIB, Press Information Bureau. Maybe if you have time, you can go through the News on Air website, that is All India Radio website. So the regular 10-15 minutes time is fine. But if you are doing that for quite some time, you will be getting this. Also, if you regularly refer the ClearIAS study materials, for example, before prelims, we released a PDF of current affairs, 100 topics, most important topics relevant for prelims. We released only 100 topics as a capsule. From that 100 topics, many questions came from science and technology. We have last class also we discussed about in-space program, that is about the privatization, right? It was direct hit in from that PDF. So we also have good hit rate, prediction rate, but that comes from experience. Once we are in this field, we know like which are the most probable areas. But the same thing comes naturally to a serious aspirant also. Once you know like what are the areas, once you analyze previous year question papers, once you go through newspapers also, you will know which areas to give emphasis, which areas you can skip. That knowledge you will get. Okay. Anyway, coming back to question number 80. The Bureau of Indian Standard, BIS, recently introduced a national standard to test and assess bomb disposal system. So this is actually connected with bomb disposal system. Very interesting question, right? So we know about bombs. So there is a bomb disposal system. So a bomb disposal system should be able to dispose the bombs, right? So there should be a standard to test and assess it. So that is developed by Bureau of Indian Standard. Now, which of the following statements with regard to this system is or are correct? The new standard is known as IS 19445-2025. It will improve the interoperability of equipment across agencies. It was developed by TBRL DRDO in collaboration with the 30th Scientific Research in Russia. So statement true, two more chance to be correct. I'm talking from my experience. More chance to be correct because very general statement. It will improve interoperability of equipment across agencies. Chance to be correct. This I'm not sure. But two most likely to be correct. So D less likely to be correct in that sense. Between A, B, and C, what do you choose? So Bureau of Indian Standard introduced something, right? That standard is developed. Is it developed with connection with Russia? That is something to be thought of. If 3 is gone, A is gone, B is gone, then it will be like C and D. So previously also I told, right, 2 high chance, right? So D 1 only less. then more chance for C to be the answer. But what do you think? Online and offline students. C, right? Okay. C. So even if we don't know the right answer, but by applying some logic, some common sense, we may be able to arrive at the answer. So BIS released IS 19445-2025 for bomb disposal systems, performance evaluation and requirements. The standard is expected to improve reliability and interoperability across agencies. That is a very general statement, more likely to be true. So it was developed through the BIS consensus process under the convenership of TBRL, DRDO. The Russian Institute mentioned in statement 3 is not part of the official description. So hence no. Okay. Question number 81. Question number 81. X, born in the UK, was conferred the Nobel Prize in 2025. He was a professor in an American university when this prize was announced. Identify X. So regarding this question, I have an objection. Objection in the sense that this question should not be asked in this way. I mean, if it is a quiz question, well and fine. I mean, if it is a quiz, that is how many quiz masters frame questions regarding their personal life. Questions are framed. But this, why should a UPSC aspirant study the personal life of scientist? If that is the direction, there is no end for learning, right? We are supposed to learn the achievements of the Nobel laureates. What are their findings? How it influences the life of others. That is fine. So ideally, this question should not be based on the personal life of a Nobel laureate. Question was connected with the Nobel laureate. The topic is fine. I don't have objections regarding the topic. But this is not how the question should be framed. It could have been better framed. When you look at UPSC question, 100 topics, almost like 99 topics are well and fine. But some questions are deep, some questions are wide, fine. But no objection regarding the way the question is framed. This question is connected with the personal life of a person. Like he was born in UK. He was a professor in an American university when a prize is announced. What significance it has? I don't see any importance for that, for a UPSC aspirant. What if he is from Singapore? What if he is from any other country? What if he is from Nigeria? Does that matter? What matters is what contribution he asked, and that should be the question topic ideally. But unfortunately, UPSC asked this question. Now, do you know what is the answer for this? Yes, online students. Option is C, John Clark. Okay, John Clark. That is the case. John Clark. But this is only an exception. We cannot blame UPSC generally. Most of the questions this year, even though difficult, are good topics, good question areas, which a well-read, well-educated youth should definitely know many of those. This also, Nobel prizes are also a good topic to ask. But from the Nobel Prize, the question should be framed in a better way, connecting it with that invention, discovery, impact of that finding and all. That is how it should be ideally phrased. Okay, John Clark was born in Cambridge, United Kingdom, and his affiliation at the time of the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics was the University of California, Berkeley, USA. So X is John Clark. But this went like a quiz question. Okay, next question. Question number 82. Which of the following statements with regarding to the Grand Slam tennis tournaments is or are correct? Sports related question. So it's current affairs. Last one also pure current affairs. Nobel Prize, pure current affairs. This is also pure current affairs. 3 statements. Which statements are correct? So fact finding, fact checking. Whether this statement is true or false, this statement is true or false, this statement is true or false. C, Grand Slam. How many of you are really passionate about tennis? If you're really good at tennis, I hope you will be able to answer this. Tournaments have a shared governance structure establishing the partnership among 4 Grand Slam tournaments. They are open for entry for all internationally ranked tennis players above the age of 14. There is a limitation on the number of wild cards a player may receive to compete in the Grand Slam tournament. Okay, there is a limitation. Okay. So regarding this question, I have something to add. The main thing is that this question and the answer key is a debatable one. Answer key is a debatable one. In this question, while discussing the answer, I shall explain what UPSC has given as the provisional answer key. But most likely there is a better answer also, but I will explain what is the better answer, what has given in the provisional key, whether UPSC will delete the answer in when the final key comes, that we'll discuss. Okay, so regarding this question, what is it? The debatable thing is statement number 2. So the question is connected with Grand Slam tennis tournaments, right? So what is mentioned statement 2? Grand Slam tennis tournaments are open for entry to all internationally ranked tennis players above the age of 14. So we already know that whenever there is a word all, it is a generalization, very less chance of that to be correct. Less chance this to be correct. And in reality also, when you look at the statement, is it open to all internationally ranked players above the age of 14? No. The reality is that only the top 500 internationally ranked tennis players above the age of 14 can compete. So 2 is ideally, if you go by the strict keywords, 2 is a wrong statement. If 2 is a wrong statement, the ideal answer should be C. 1 only. So 1 only, right? But UPSC has treated A as the right answer. This UPSC has taken as a true statement. That top 500 UPSC omitted. So this is a debatable thing. So candidates now have the facility to challenge the UPSC provisional answer key, right? There can be representations, objections. So I believe many candidates will object this, and maybe finally UPSC may change the key to C1 only, or UPSC may drop the question altogether. We have to see what happens. Okay. So the official, as of now, I am keeping it as the provisional UPSC answer key. Provisional answer key says that 1 and 2 only. But by this, going by the strict wordings, the right thing is C1 only. Okay, I will explain this. So Grand Slam tennis has a shared governance structure among 4 Grand Slam tournaments. The rules also state that Grand Slam tournaments are open to international ranked players subject to conditions, and minors under 14 are not eligible. To play Grand Slam, you have to be above 14, internationally ranked players. The rule book says that Grand Slam tournaments are open to internationally ranked tennis players within a ranking of 500 or better, subject to conditions including age, eligibility, etc. Minors under 14 are not eligible. So it is not simply all international ranked players above 14. But UPSC is probably treating statement 2 as a simplified version of Grand Slam rule book. But if you go by the strict wordings, 2 is definitely false. And there is no general limitation on the number of wild cards a player may receive. So statement 3 is incorrect. What is statement 3 saying? Statement 3 is saying that there is a limitation on the number of wild cards a player may receive to compete in a Grand Slam tournament. Such a limitation is not there. So 3 is wrong. So I hope that part is clear. Now question number 83. Which one of the following pairs of semiconductor plants in India and their locations is not correctly matched? Not correctly matched. So semiconductor plants, very important theme with respect to the modern India, modern world. Semiconductors are important, right? So where are semiconductor plants in India located? Location of industries and all. Yeah. Gujarat. Gujarat and so one Gujarat and Assam, are there semiconductor plants? Yes. So A is true, D is true. Now we are in 50-50. Whether it is C or D, what is wrong, right? Not correctly matched. Any idea? Online students, offline students? So location of industries is a topic with respect to geography for mains also. So such a question can come in mains as well. So the right answer is C. Right answer means the question is asking about not correctly matched. Not correctly matched. So this is correctly matched. This is correctly matched. This is not correctly matched. This is also correctly matched. So CG Power and Industrial Solutions Private Limited in partnership with Renaissance Electronics and Star Microelectronics. That is in Gujarat. So Gujarat has a semiconductor industry. Tata Semiconductor Assembly and Test Private Limited. That is in Assam. Sysam Private Limited, that is in Odisha. Where is HCL Foxconn Joint Venture Limited, India Chip Limited? That is in Uttar Pradesh. That is not in Madhya Pradesh. Other players are correctly matched. Okay. So next question. Question number 84. Which one of the statements with regard to India's indigenous new high resolution weather model, Bharat forecast system, is or are correct? See, questions are asking about India's indigenous capacities. What is made in India? What is developed by India? Now, with respect to weather or forecast, now India has a new model, higher resolution weather model, unique model, native model, Bharat forecast system. With respect to this, which of the statements are correct? Its objective is to generate forecast at Panchayat cluster level. It was developed by IIT Delhi, which is correct. One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. Bharat forecast system. So all these are in news only. Current affairs. All these are current affairs. Rare chance of getting these from traditional textbooks. You need to have a good current affairs idea. That also not for just 1 year, but last 2-3 years you should be familiar with. But ClearIAS conducts weekly current affairs classes. If you are regularly following weekly current affairs classes, we also keep our archives in the learning management system. So we have current affairs classes for last 3-4 years in our archives. Also PDF materials, not just for 1 year, last 5 years. We are keeping that. So based on your time availability, please go through the current affairs archives. So you can find all these things. It is very easy. All weekly matters will be condensed into a 3-hour current affairs class. Regularly attend this because that is a signal which we can get from this year paper. If you regularly follow ClearIAS weekly current affairs class and follow our study materials for current affairs, you get most of these questions correct. Most of this. Also, when you study current affairs, connect it with just like what I mentioned in the beginning, polity-related current affairs, governance-related current affairs, science and technology-related current affairs, geography-related current affairs, culture-related current affairs. Like that you study. So it's not a separate thing. It is an extension of the static subjects. Okay, what is the answer? Statement 2 is wrong here. Bharat forecast system is not developed by IIT Delhi. It is developed by a Pune-based institute. Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune. So Bharat forecast system aims to provide high resolution forecast down to the Panchayat level or cluster of Panchayat level. But it is developed by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, not IIT Delhi. Okay. Next question. Last question which we are planning to discuss today. With that, all the current affairs is over. So tomorrow we will be discussing economics. Indian economy, world economy, economic concepts. So when with respect to economics also this year the questions are not traditional economics based. It is a deviation actually. A lot of new concept tested. Drop shipping, like many new concept tested. So it is not traditionally covered in the economic textbooks. Not everything connected with the GDP, inflation, fiscal policy, monetary policy. The questions were beyond that. but that we'll discuss tomorrow. With this question, we shall wind up for today. So what is this question? Consider the following statements with regarding to the film boom. The film has recently won British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award, BAFTA Award, in the Children and Family Film category. The film is directed by Lakshmi Priya Devi. This is the first Indian film to win a BAFTA Award in the Children and Family Film category. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 2 only, 3 only. Current affairs. Film related. But before answering this, I will also give one practical tip, right? So there was a question, one question connected with film, one question connected with sports, right? But these are very wide areas. Film itself is a wide area. Sports is a wide area. But rather than a superficial understanding regarding all these, if you go into very deep into all these areas, you may miss chance to go deep into other areas from which return on investment will be high. For example, return on investment from economics will be very high. Return on investment from polity and governance will be very high. Return on investment from geography will be very high. But if you study films, you get one question. If you study sports, you get one question, right? So when you study economics, there is a concept called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means the cost of the next best alternative, right? So if we cannot learn everything. I mean, same time, time is finite, right? For every UPSC aspirant also, the limited quantity is time. All of you have only 24 hours in a day. Every 24 hours we cannot study. We need at least 8 hours for proper sleep. Remaining only we have 16 hours. That also, full 16 hours we cannot focus. So our focus is limited, our attention span is limited. So which subject to study, which topics to study is a crucial choice you should make. So if I am an IAS aspirant, just like you, I may not pay attention to these kind of areas. I am okay to leave those because I know that for practical purpose, for cracking prelims, I need to get only 70 questions correct. 30 I can go wrong. I can leave unattempted also, not a problem. So these areas I will mark it like that. If I get it by luck or by general reading of newspapers, well, I'm fine. But for just getting this question, I will not go deep into the film area of the newspapers, not into the sports area. That will return on investment is very low in that area. I will look at areas from which if I invest minimum time, I get maximum benefit. That will be my way of thinking with respect to this. Okay, now let's look at this. Film, boom. What is the right answer? All statements are correct. Film won the British Award, BAFTA Award in Children and Family Film category. This is the first film to win BAFTA Award in the Children and Family Film. So if you look at 1 and 3, there is a clue here. First statement says that the film has won the film award. Third statement also supplements it. It is saying that this is the first Indian film to win BAFTA. So it seems that automatically statement 1 is correct. If you look at statement 3, right? So the film is directed by Lakshmi Priya Devi. Anyway, the answer is 1, 2 and 3. Boom won the BAFTA Award in the Best Children and Family Film category, directed by Lakshmi Priya. First Indian film to win that category. All are correct. Okay. So with that note, let's pause for today. All these discussions will be uploaded in the ClearIAS learning management system. So along with other learning resources, what are the learning resources available in your learning management system? We have recordings of all the live classes we conduct. Not for this batch, for other batches also. Whatever we conduct, it will be there. That covers the entire syllabus. So you don't have to wait for a live class to be conducted to start your learning. You can start right away because we have already loaded contents which finish the entire UPSC syllabus that is already there in the course. But additionally, we will also conduct classes for the next exam on a daily basis. Updates to what is happening, the current affairs, updates to the static subjects. With every batch, we keep on doing that. But you don't have to wait for a live class to be over to start your learning. All contents to start your learning is already there in your course. We have a study plan, guidance related videos, prelims focused video classes, prelims test series is there, mains focused video classes, mains test series, interview related classes, then revision related contents. Also, we have prelims marks booster kind of classes, mains marks booster kind of classes. So everything will be uploaded there. So we have a question from Banu. What is question, Banu? From the day after there will be preparation for mains. Yeah, 2026. You are right. So after tomorrow, tomorrow we will be finishing this prelims discussion. Tuesday, right? So tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be discussing 15 questions, remaining 15 questions. That is from economics section. Then we will be finishing prelims discussion. Whatever we discuss for prelims, that is important for mains as well. But all these will be loaded in the prelims marks booster folder. From Wednesday onwards, we are starting the mains discussion. So from the mains aspect, the initial class will be like how to approach mains. The approach itself should be clear, right? The preparation for mains needs an entirely different approach. Of course, there are many things common. The thinking and all is there, but mains, many students are clueless how to prepare for mains. Prelims, they know that it's MCQ based, but the kind of MCQs, many of you are just getting familiarized. But mains is subjective exam, different kind of question. And also the keywords of question also vary. Some questions are like discuss, some are like explain, some may be critically examine, some may be critically analyze, elucidate, comment. Different question keywords will be there. So what is the expectation of the UPSC question setter which each of these question types? That is what I plan to discuss in the first class with respect to mains. Then we'll also see different previous year UPSC mains questions, and based on the keywords mentioned in the UPSC syllabus for mains, we will discuss topic wise for mains. So ideally, the time between June and December should be devoted for your mains preparation. GS mains as well as your optional subject should be over before December. Then January to May should be entirely devoted for prelims preparation. Okay. Even though these are not watertight compartments, don't leave your mains only topics for prelims. Mains only topic means optional subject, ethics preparation, essay preparation, internal security, world history, Indian society, disaster management, such topics, minor topics, but all these should be finished before December. So that is how we are planning also. Our classes also planned. So if any of you want to join any optional classes also, please connect with our support team. We have optional for subjects like sociology, anthropology, political science. So our team will explain. With psychology also we are having classes. Law, we are planning to start classes on law and public administration. So please get it, our team. Anyway, anthropology and sociology classes are already up and running as recorded videos that is already available in the course. You can join and start learning for mains optional subject as well. Okay. Any questions, online and offline students? Any other questions? Okay. Okay. We'll catch again tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye. Good night.